Hey everybody, my name is Janae Kelly. I'm the director of the Office of Multicultural Affairs. So having a great time already being here today.
Hi everyone, I'm everywhere. I use he, they pronouns, either one is fine. I'm the director of the LGBT Center at Case.
Hello, I am Hannah Regan, and I am the Assistant Director for Research in the Flora Stone Mather Center for Women at Case.
Okay, Janae, can you go first?
Absolutely. So I'm going to try to keep it kind of short about all the things about the Office of Multicultural Affairs. So we are, by and large, a student support space on campus. So we're very intentional in how we curate our space, and a lot of it is communal. So the hope is that when people come into the Office of Multicultural Affairs, especially students, they breathe a sigh of relief, that all of the kind of the stress and all the extra things that they have to deal with throughout the day kind of melt away in our space. And so in that, we have the comfiest couches on campus, which I hope that you've heard about today at some point. And so students are often hanging out, napping, eating, studying in that space. We're not a place where students necessarily need an appointment or need to talk to a staff person. They're allowed to just be. And so we have reservable space for study groups. We also have a food pantry in our space, which is a resource we love to talk about. I also like to know that it is a culturally aware food pantry. So we're not just giving you bland rice and beans. There's some sauce and some seasoning that reminds you of home, that makes it something that you or your student would actually want to eat. And as far as our programming, the first interaction that most students have with the Office of Multicultural Affairs is a program called Diversity 360, which is part of their Discover Week or Orientation Week. And it's a training, but we really like to think about it as a dialogue or a conversation around bias, microaggressions, personal identity, intersectionality. What do all these terms mean, and how will they come to pass during their time here at CWRU? And so it's really about how do we convey to students our community standards here at CWRU, how we treat one another, and how we really see one another. And so that's kind of the first entryway. Some of the other programs that we host throughout the year, and just to kind of preface it, we have a huge focus on holistic wellness and community engagement. And so two programs that really hit the nail on the head with those is our Wellness Wednesday series. So we partner with University Health and Counseling Services once a month on a Wednesday to think about and talk to students about something on that wellness wheel. So we've talked about food insecurity, we've talked about healthy sleep, which was really important. As of last month, we had that conversation about, hey, like, how much should you be sleeping? Maybe more than 4 hours a night. How do we kind of get that integrated into your lifestyle, and how important is sleep? And even memory retention. You know, you might be spending all nighters trying to retain this information, but if you don't sleep, it's not going to stick as well. And so having those conversations with students. And then another program, as we think about kind of that community outreach, we did a field trip to the Case Community Garden. So if you didn't know, that's a resource for students, also faculty and staff, to harvest whenever they'd like. And so we walked over with one of the leads of the community garden, who taught us how all of these things were grown, how to harvest them. We got to try some things, some ground cherry tomatoes, I think, were very, very tasty. We got some onions and peppers and things like that. And students learned how not only to grow their own food and volunteer at that garden, but how important kind of fresh produce is to a well-rounded diet. And then I also like to talk about kind of our flagship event, which is our Unity Banquet and Scholarship Benefit. It happens every April, in which we give away around $10,000 to current students. This year, we should be expanding the pool to closer to $30,000 to current students. And these awards are for experiential education. So that means study abroad, research, internship, externship, maybe travel to and from that internship if it's unpaid, maybe some living expenses, being able to offset the cost so that students are able to live their dreams. It's called the Dream Fund that we're able to award students from. And so this April on the 19th, we'll be having Unity Banquet, which is a big, 600 person event. We all get dressed up and eat really good food, but we also give students their awards. I like to say this is an opportunity to give students their flowers before they graduate, and let them know that we've seen them. And so that's a little snippet of the things that we do, but overarchingly, it is a lot about community support, community building, and diversity education across campus.
Thank you, Janae. Hannah, would you like to go next?
Yeah, absolutely. So I will try to keep it as succinct as Janae did. We are so fortunate in the Women's Center to offer a huge variety of programs. So first of all, like OMA, we have an open space from 9 to 9 on weekdays, and some hours on weekends as well. So I'll fight you for the title of comfiest couches on campus because our couch is brand new. We just got a whole new suite of furniture for hanging out and studying, and we've got snacks and coffee and all that good stuff. And then within our programming, we house the campus advocate and actually are in the process of hiring a second part-time advocate. So for students who experience sexual harassment or sexual violence on campus, we do offer confidential advocacy services to help students through Title IX processes, reporting processes, or whatever options they may choose to pursue. And that is all housed within our space. And then we offer programming as well on domestic violence and sexual assaults topics. So bystander intervention, healthy relationships, Informed You, which is our orientation program for all first-year students to take during Discover Week, and other gender equity programs throughout the semester as well. And then also social programming. So craft nights and movie nights. We just did Women in Horror at the end of October. So lots of different opportunities for hanging out and socializing programming there. And then I run our research agenda. So we publish a journal out of our center. I give away grant money to students at all levels, as well as faculty and staff, so that you can also live your dreams in a research and professional development sense that way too. And we are a space for people of all gender identities, not just women or women identified people. So everyone is welcome in our space at all times. And yeah, lots of different opportunities depending on where your interests lie. Oh, and huge STEM programs. Goodness, I can't forget that at Case. We run WISER, which is the Women in Science and Engineering Roundtable, which provides programming throughout the year to students, as well as PRIZE, which is an entrepreneurship program. So lots of ways to tie in, especially with the sciences as well.
Thank you, Hannah. Okay, Avery.
All right, it's on me. I'm gonna round it out. Okay, again, I'm everywhere. He, their pronouns, either one is fine. I am the brand new director of the LGBT Center. I've been in the role for about 5 or 6 weeks, so I'm not going to be like as knowledgeable as my colleagues were here. As they were talking, I was like thinking of like, what all do we do? Because I'm still trying to learn the job too. But we are on the first floor of Tink. We're right underneath the Women's Center, actually. And we do not have the comfiest couch on campus because we don't have no couches. But we have a nice space. It's also very communal. Again, students don't need an appointment. They don't have to necessarily have to come to meet with pro staff. A lot of them are just there hanging out. So we have 3 professional staff members, myself, Maylee, who is the assistant director, and Devin, who is our student retention coordinator. I believe that's their title. And then we have 2 grad students that work with us as interns, and then we have 6. It was 7, but now it's 6. Someone else got a brand new internship, and they just couldn't juggle it all. So now we have 6 undergrad workers, and they're called student coordinators. So they man our front desk, but they also do different student programming around campus. So we have gender resistance, we have LGBTQ Dungeons and Dragons. We have film club, and they bring different topics. I think the last one was like horror and film, or like queer horror and film. And they had a really good discussion. And what they did was they allowed everyone to participate. So everyone, like not even the student workers, but any student who wanted to bring a presentation did, and they had really good dialogue around that. So the 3 main trainings that we do in the center are Trans 101 or Trans Ally 101, depending on who asked for it and what they want. The pronoun workshop, talking about all about pronouns, why they're useful, why we should be respecting people's pronouns, what neo-pronouns are. A lot of people don't even know that term, so we dig into that. And then we do Safe Zone, which is a huge LGBT training all across the country. And the biggest misconception about the center is it's just for students, but it's for students, staff, faculty, and alum. So we service everyone, we welcome everyone. We have different programs and events that cater to just faculty and staff, so they know that we actually are there for them too. So coming up, it hasn't been announced yet, so y'all the first to know. We have a LGBTQ faculty and staff group that we meet, I think once a month, and then we're also doing a holiday party for our queer faculty and staff. So we do a lot of programs in the center, but the four big ones are Lavender graduation, which is where we honor all of our queer students who are graduating, and we give out some awards and eat good food and just have a good time as they round out the year. We have our student drag show, which is actually coming up on Friday. The student drag show is in Swing from 7. I think the show starts at 7, but doors open at 5. And then it goes until everyone performs. So it's just students. These are not professional drag queens. These are not people that we booked. These are students who want to express themselves in the form of drag, and they have that space to do it. There are 2 more that I'm forgetting that just slipping my mind. But yes, we do 4 big ones. Those are 2 of the big ones. So yeah, I think I hit everything.